Are you miserable? Well, you're in luck because
Yes.
today's episode, we are talking about not just any trap, not a bear trap, not a bull trap, but the ideal self trap. Why trying to be perfect produces misery. This is the Existential Stoic Podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. What's going on, Danny?
What's up, Randy?
This is an interesting one.
It's a good one. Yeah. I think this is one that everybody struggles with. And it's one of these ones where I think you can kill your momentum and also just make yourself wildly depressed and miserable trying to be perfect, right? I think we all struggle with this.
Dude, and we live in a world where like being perfect is like that's just okay. It's like that's the bare
Yeah.
minimum, you know?
You're not grinding and perfect? What
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. Like, I think about this when I saw this the idea for this episode. I was thinking about too, like it's like when we got the dogs, right? And you go to train them and you look on YouTube at these videos and like all the videos act like you have to have your dog perfect. Like this dog has to like sit by your side, do nothing, until you speak to it and all this stuff. And it's like
Hmm.
that's not what I want though either. And it's this problem I think where like so much stuff we see online and it's all BS, it's all made up,
Hmm.
but it's presented to you like this perfect ideal life or ideal self, like this person's figured it out. They're 22 and they know everything, and it's like
Yeah. Like I look back and I see a very clear distinction between the 1990s and the 2000s because like the 1990s, I mean, you have stuff like say Screech from Saved by the Bell and Steve
yeah.
Urkel and stuff like that. Clearly not perfect, but they were just who they were. And then all of a sudden in 2000s, Zuck is like the first teenage billionaire or whatever, and all of a sudden you have to be perfect, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. In everything too. That's the crazy part. But the funny part is too is like I don't know why we have this ideal because no one is either.
Mm-mm. No
Like
one's even
they try to
close.
pretend like it. Yeah, but they are not. And
Yeah.
that's the other weird thing is like so why do we all feel this urge that we have to be this way when there is clearly no evidence that anyone is?
Well, because it's one of these traps where you don't have it and you think that you're miserable because you don't have it. Like that's the reason. But
Yeah.
I'm listening to this really interesting book right now. Uh, what is it? It's by the dude who wrote The Psychology of Money. It's called, I don't know, I have to look it up because I can never remember the name of this thing.
Titles are
It,
tough when you listen to them too. You
dude,
don't
it's
see it.
terrible. It's called The Art of Spending Money. And it's crazy because in this book, he talks a whole bunch about how people just basically they get in traps where they're trying to impress other people with their money and
Hmm.
it never has anything. And there's like no matter how much money you make and how fast you make money, there's always someone who make money faster. And like
Yeah.
he was joking around how like if Bill Gates had Oprah money, he would kill himself.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like
He'd be miserable, and
but
that's
like if any of
insane.
us had Oprah money, it would be the best thing in the world. So it is all kind of
Yeah.
comparisons.
Well, that's the problem though. I think that is at the heart of it, right? Is that it's all these self-comparisons we make. And like we talked about this before, but we're picking and choosing what we're comparing to. We're never comparing to the whole person. Like Oprah's miserable. Have you ever seen anything about her life?
Oh, it
Because
was
she
terrible in
is,
the beginning. Yeah.
yeah, I've seen a few like things and she's just miserable still. Like even though she has
Really?
this empire she built, yeah, yeah. Seen
Huh.
lots of problems. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're all accurate. Granted, to be fair, I don't want to make like I'm not an
Yeah.
expert on Oprah or
I
any
thought
by
that
any
out of
means.
many people, she would have kind of figured it out, but maybe because it's kind of like the
But she
striving, because
presents an
there's
image,
no
right?
end to it, you know?
Yeah,
And if you think that the striving is going to get you there, then you're missing out. It's like you remember that story? Everybody knows that story about like the dude who goes on vacation, like the millionaire CEO or whatever, goes on vacation in Mexico, and he
yeah,
finds some guy, like fishing all day, playing guitar and drinking with his friends at night, and he's like, what are you doing here? You could buy like five more fishing boats and then take out a whole bunch of debt and whatever, work 20 years, build up this empire. And the Mexican fisherman's like, and then what? And then you can retire and you can sit on the beach and fish all day and drink with your friends. And he's like, well, why would I do that? But it's kind of like people think there's this whole circuitous route to being happy and fulfilled. And it's like, well, you could just be happy and fulfilled now with what you have. Like, but
because we told
contentment,
him a lie,
yeah,
right?
contentment is a hard thing because uh, it it's not an all the time thing. I think David Byrne says it very well, where like if you have 5 good days and 2 days a week, two bad days a week, you're doing pretty good.
Well, this is funny. This is what the Stoics and stuff were so focused on with virtue, right? Is that if you develop virtue, you develop a stronger character. So you are more equipped to weather the ups and downs. And
Hmm.
that's where that flourishing comes in, right? Because life is always going to have ups and downs. Like there's no way we're going to get around that. Like even if you live a quiet life, a peaceful life, people are going to die that you love. There's going to be, natural events that happen that are going to be, disastrous. But it's how you deal with that after it happens that matters. And if we have a strong character, we weather it better. So like you're saying, right? Like, contentment might be like it's not going to be permanent, but when you have these issues too, if you build that strong character, you know yourself, you'll weather it better as well, which is kind of
It
interesting.
definitely comes down to like knowing yourself and just like recognizing that you're having a bad day. Because like it's very easy to
Yeah.
spiral when you're having a bad day. Like for instance, today there was just this underlying feeling of discontent. Like nothing
Yeah.
particularly bad happened, but it just was like this feeling in my body. And so like everything, it was getting like colored by this discontent, and I was just getting into all these moods until I recognized I'm just like, oh, I'm just feeling discontent today. So I guess the challenge for today is being content with being discontent, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because we blow things out of proportion too. Like I'm worried about something upcoming with work and some stuff going on there. And it's funny because, like, I was talking to Anna about it, and she's like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, we'll be fine. Like, we'll figure something out. And, like, I know that's true, but at the same time, like, whenever stuff like this happens, like, it's easy to spin out, right? And imagine. And I think part of it is, too, though, because it's like time of year, we're surrounded by advertising, people telling us we don't have enough, or we need this,
Hmm.
or we need that, or we need
Yeah.
more for this, And it's like very difficult sometimes, I think, to see past all that crap and see
Hmm.
what's actually true, you
Yeah.
know?
And worrying is a challenging one because it's is addictive, but also it's this form of magical thinking where it says,
Yeah.
if I worry, then things will work out, as if that's ever true, you know?
Yeah, right.
But it's like
Well, it's just,
it's not like things work out because you worried.
no. And
Yeah.
that's the other funny thing. It's like that catch 22 of like we feel like we need to worry to motivate ourselves to do things to make the changes. But really that's like a false connection. There's no real
Hmm.
causality there.
Yeah.
And the worrying actually usually gets in the way of us doing productive things to actually
True.
make things better.
But it's
Yeah.
also important to acknowledge the good aspects of worrying because you're worrying about this, it says some really awesome things about you. It says that
Yeah,
you care
right?
about yourself, you care about your well-being,
Yeah.
you want things to work out, probably you believe in some sense of justice in the world. And like these are a lot of really good qualities and things that it says about you. So
Yeah.
it's not
It
and this kind of like touches on the whole perfection thing of this episode. So people think it's like supposed to be black or white, 100% or zero, perfection, all or nothing. Like worrying is bad 100% of the time. Anxiety is bad 100% of the time.
yeah.
Depression is bad 100% of the time. But it's just not. There's like
No.
it's shades of gray, and there's
It's also
50 of
called
them from what I
life.
hear. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there are 50. They get
But
very spicy too at times.
oh yeah. But
Yeah.
like worrying can be good, and it says a lot of good things
Yeah.
about you. Anxiety and depression also can be good, say very good things about you and your values.
Well, I guess
Even perfectionistic tendencies. They
yeah.
say very good things about you and your personality, but
About what you
they just
want.
might be causing you to be
Yeah.
miserable.
Well, it tells you about your expectations too, like what you expect from yourself, what you expect from others, right? It tells you about your values. It tells you a lot of good things. Oh, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I want to give a handy hint because this thing like I get stuck in perfectionism every once in a while, like most other people. And this one trick helped me out so much when I learned about it because when you get stuck in perfectionism, you're trying to be perfect and it's just
Yeah.
not working and it's really, really frustrating. So I was reading, I think this was a David Burns thing also, but he's like, when you're in that cycle, just try and be average. And see how much you fail. And it's
Yeah.
hilarious because like I was trying to do average stuff and I'm like, well, that's not average. That's clearly above average. Okay, try better to be average. And it's like you
Yeah.
can't. Some things are good, some things are bad, some things are close to perfect, some things are close to terrible, but yeah.
Well, the
It
other weird thing is like your scale is going to be different from everybody else's too, of what
Mhm.
that means. And it's like a
Definitely.
changing, especially when people get caught up in it, it's a changing scale that you can never, it's like the Sisyphusian,
Hmm.
dilemma, right? You can never push that boulder up to the mountain and it sticks. It's
Hmm.
always going to roll down because there's always going to be somebody else with more, somebody else with
Yeah,
better,
because
somebody else with
perfect is just
faster,
a
right?
concept.
Yeah. And a
Yeah,
very vague
you
one.
can't hit a concept. It's like the what is that thing, the asymptotic line where it gets closer and closer,
Yeah.
but it never touches. Yeah.
Well, it's crazy too. Think about how many people don't do things they love because of this idea of perfectionism. Like, oh, I'm not great at, I can't be an Olympic skier, so I just won't ski.
Mm,
Or I'll never make money from, photography, so I just won't do photography, right? Even those things you might love to do, we don't do them. And then it's like, and then how do we fill our time? We fill our time with doom scrolling, looking at crap that makes us, salivate after the next new thing or whatever, and
hmm
crave all these things that make us feel worse about our position. So it is
Yeah.
kind of, it's like self-induced too. And I think that's the worst part is like when you recognize that, you can definitely help pull yourself out of it faster and be more self-aware. But it's a
hmm
struggle too. It's hard. I don't think it's easy. And like you were saying too, like this is life is this. It's ups and downs, it's depression, it's anxiety. And I think we spend so much time trying to say that you shouldn't ever feel any of these things
hmm
that it makes people feel terrible when they do, right? Like something's wrong with them.
Yeah. So let's take a look at how perfectionism specifically makes people miserable. Because, well, for instance, like if if you want to be happy, it comes down to kind of having things like somewhat getting what you want, right? Having expectations and having them be met or exceeded,
This is tough, right? There's probably
right?
there, I think some of happiness is some of getting what you want, but also being happy with what you have, right? Being able to be happy as yourself. I think
Yeah.
that's a big part of it too. But yeah,
Yeah,
yes, I
I've
do
heard,
think
I've heard,
there's some
I've
of it.
heard like a lot of it is expectations, like
Yeah.
how close to whatever it is. If it far exceeds your expectations, you're like really happy, and if it doesn't meet your expectations, you're not happy. And so, like if perfection is your expectation, knowing that you can never meet it or exceed it, that just by
Yeah.
definition means you're going to be miserable.
Well, that's the weird thing about it, right? Is that perfectionism by definition is an ideal, right?
hmm
So it is perfect. It is something that's unattainable.
hmm
I think that's one of the things I always loved about studying ethics was that, you look at all these like ancient ethicists, the Stoics, the existentialists, whatever, um, throughout human history, and like the ideal of the good life was always something very much ideal. Like it's not something that many, if any, people achieve. It's something
hmm
you strive for, right? And knowing that you probably won't achieve it because there's always going to be room for improvement, change. There's always going to be changes in your life. And it's always this working towards something. And it's the working towards that matters. It's not the goal. And I think we've screwed up because we've made the goal the thing that matters rather than the journey or the working towards.
hmm
And it's an unattainable goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's always better to have something to work towards than not because it's
Yeah.
even when you attain that thing, it's only for like a brief moment.
Well, it's like purpose, right? Like, we talked about this before, but like, I don't know about you, but like when you don't have anything going on in your life, when you have no projects, no plans, no things that you like doing, it can feel miserable, right?
hmm
Boring and terrible because we need things to do. We're creative beings, right? Like we
hmm
like doing things that we're like learning things, making things. So I
hmm
think having things to do is really good, but realizing that, like none of these is like the epitome of your life or the end all be all. It's just a part of your life, right? It's part of that journey of living. And so
hmm
kind of seeing that too can be very helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So
It's a
those
weird
are a couple
trap.
ways that it makes people miserable. Also, it just gets you into the whole concept of like all or nothing thinking, where it
Yeah.
either is perfect or it's a failure. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you get a 90% on a test and you're like, oh, not 100. What the heck? I used to do that in
I used
vet
to do that
school. Like
myself too.
I
Yeah.
took the test serious as a mofo. And so like I would get hundreds on tests, but like when I would get a 96 or something, I'd be like, oh, I missed one question. That one question,
Yeah.
come on.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter? No, not
No,
even a
not at
little.
all, because I don't even
And
work
that's
as
the
a
funny
vet
thing. Like,
anymore.
no, but that's just it, right? Like, you don't even do it.
Yeah.
No, but even if you still did it, it doesn't matter, right? Because
Yeah.
that has no bearing on how you're going to be as a vet, too. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, and
But we
usually
put
you
so much
learn from
pressure on
those
ourselves.
questions the most because you'll never
Yeah.
forget them.
Well, that's
Yeah.
just it, right? And I think that's the all or nothing thinking we get trapped in with perfectionism. It's like, again, you
Actually,
know,
that's a great example because like I I mean, I talk about this on here all the time, how I came in second place in the spelling bee in second grade.
yeah.
I don't remember all the words that I said that I spelled correctly to get to second place,
Do you remember
but
the
I
one you
remember
spelled
the one
wrong?
word that I didn't spell correctly to miss first place. And it's crazy because that's how you learn.
Yeah. Well, that's what learning is, right? Learning. we learn the most from the obstacles that we overcome, not from because like when something's easy and you can just do it, you don't need to learn anything. You're not learning. You're doing something you already know how to do, right? So it's like if you never challenge yourself, if you never do anything different, you never have the opportunity for failure, you're never growing.
Hmm.
So I think that's the other side of this is like perfectionism can also be I think it can also be a self-imposed sort of limit on our own growth because like we're afraid of change, we're afraid of growing, we're afraid of succeeding, and it's a good way to block ourselves because that all or nothing thinking makes it really easy to say like I'm not good enough, I'll never be able to do this, whatever, because we expect perfect out of ourselves immediately when that's never the case, right? Learning or doing something new or anything in life. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, it's a
Cool.
good
Well,
one.
anything else that we should mention on this topic?
I mean, there's tons, but I think that's good.
Yeah.
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 Perfectionism
Cut
sucks.
yourself some slack.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Especially this time of
perfect.
year too.
Oof.
This time of
Yeah.
year is oh my
It
God.
is
Because
that
like I
time of
think
year. I forgot about that.
well, I think it is. And I think also I was thinking about this because like went out to do a little shopping for Christmas, and I think that's one of the ones where I think people like, dude, everything's really expensive. And I think people put so much pressure on themselves. Like, oh my, kids' Christmas is gonna be ruined if I don't get X. And it's like, really though, is it? Like, and I think that's
Mhm.
the other thing. Like, so being compassionate with yourself and going a little easy is good, especially this time of year.
Yeah, I always love watching like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation because you see how messed up their family dynamic is, and it's like
Oh God.
that's pretty normal. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God. It's like it's a mess.
Yep. Yeah, so there you have it. That's why being perfect can cause you to be miserable. If you're perfect, try out some of the things we talked about in this episode. Maybe you'll be a little bit less miserable after. So, if you enjoyed it, we have hundreds of other episodes. Just check out wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. Until next time, this is the Existential Stoic Podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. I'll see you later, Danny.
Later, Randy.